Colombian President Gustavo Petro has renewed his calls for the formation of Gran Colombia, an EU-style union that would combine Venezuela, Cambodia, Colombia and even Ecuador, as well as Panama. In a post on social media platform, he proposed carrying out through constituent powers an agreement between governments, the revival of Gran Colombia, which is a reference to the historic Northern South American Union, originally spearheaded by independence liberator Simon Bolivar. Petro even called for a common parliament and presidency, just like the European Union. The plan was first proposed by former Colombian President Hugo Chavez in 2008. However, at this time, it failed to gain the traction it required. Petro's statement comes amid tensions with US over its so-called anti-narcotics operations in the Caribbean region. While addressing a gathering recently, Petro even warned President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio against entering what he called Bolivar's homeland, reminding how the armies of the Caribbean with spears defeated mighty Spanish and French forces, highlighting that the Caribbean people are used to hurricanes. He even went on to warn that they can also unleash one if provoked. Also, a day ago, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro drew inspiration from Hollywood to take jibe at the perceived US superiority with respect to South Americans. He said Americans think life is a bad Hollywood movie where there's always the heroic Rambo-style winners, while Latinos, Mexicans, Colombians, Venezuelans and even Caribbeans and Africans are portrayed as villains. He concluded that US was delusional as their empire was heading towards a decline. Also, a new report has claimed that US is examining sites to send additional military assets to Caribbean as Trump weighs on options. A report in the war zone, which cited a US official, said that Washington is very much conducting site surveys to see if more military assets could be deployed to the region. The report further attributed open-source investigators to document various military assets being moved in El Salvador, including an AC-130 Ghost Rider gunship and a Navy P-8A reconnaissance plane, while a third military aircraft, the unmarked C-40 Clipper, was also spotted. The report said that deployments indicated an expanding US footprint in the Caribbean region.